Hey there, welcome back. Tonight we're in the kitchen making a variation of a traditional classic eggplant parmesan. One of my absolute favorites of all times, but it's one of those things that I don't get to eat enough because I don't see it out in restaurants a lot. And unfortunately, about the only time I get to eat it is when I make it at home. But luckily, now you're going to be able to do that too. So kick back, hit that subscribe button, and enjoy the video. Alright, so on the counter tonight we have an eggplant. Well, we're going to slice the eggplant and cure it with kosher salt, put it over onto this small tray here that we have lined with paper towels, and the salt is going to pull a lot of the liquid out, which is what the paper towels are for, to soak it up, and that gets rid of a lot of the bitterness that you have naturally with eggplant, so you cannot skip that step, guys. After it's cured, we're going to rinse it off and roll it in seasoned flour. It's just going to be about a cup of flour, about 2 teaspoons of salt, and about a teaspoon of pepper. And then we're going to go straight into the egg wash, which consists of a cup of milk and 1 egg beaten together with a fork. And once the egg wash makes it all sticky, we're going to roll it in this Italian breadcrumbs here. Nothing too crazy, just breadcrumbs ground together with some dry herbs and just a little bit of seasoning and a little bit of red chili flake. And then we're going to shallow fry it in the oil that we have here. Just shallow pan, just enough to cover it about halfway until it gets nice and crispy. And then we're going to cover it in cheese. You can choose whatever cheese you like. Personally, I prefer any mozzarella provolone blend. So here we go. So to prepare the eggplant, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. And if you notice, I go way up near the top and then just going to get rid of the collar here and the top. And we're just going to slice this. We're going probably 1/2 inch thick. The thinner you slice it, the shorter amount of time you have to cure it, because that's going to give you more surface area and a better chance to draw that moisture out. So now that we have the eggplant sliced, salt the daylights out of it so that you can pull a lot of the moisture out. And once we've salted it really heavily, I'm just going to turn it over and do the exact same thing to the other side. Now's a good time to show you the special ingredient that I did forget to mention. We actually have a tomato sauce cooking over here on the side, and that's what's going to go between the breaded eggplant itself and the cheese. Completely forgot to mention that just a second ago, but if you want to see the recipe for how to make that, I'll put a link to it in the video. We are back, and the eggplant is ready to go. So I've rinsed it off and gotten all the extra salt off of it. And before we start breading it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over back to the stove and I'm going to pour about 1/2 inch worth of oil into the pan here. And we don't need enough to cover it, just about halfway. And we're going to go on to medium-low heat because we don't want to get it too hot. You just want to get it nice and golden brown whenever we go to do this. So for now, we're going to come back over here, we're going to take the eggplant, and we're going to go straight into the flour, and we're going to roll it in there and coat it well. If the eggplant's still wet from when you rinsed it off, it might actually help in this step, because it'll help the flour stick to it. And with our other hand, here, we're just going to roll it in the egg, and then go straight into the breadcrumbs. And once we're in the breadcrumbs here, we just want to make sure we coat it well. And you see, coat it on all sides. I like to pack it down a little bit. And we're just going to set it right back on the tray for now until we get the rest of these done. So just to do that again. Alright, it looks like our oil's getting nice and warm now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take just a pinch of the breading and I'm going to throw it in there. And you see how it's starting to make the bubbles? That means that it's hot enough to actually fry in. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to take this spoon and I'm going to lower the eggplant down into there. And if you notice, it doesn't go crazy, but it does make and light bubbles all the way around it, okay? So that means, again, that our oil is hot enough to do what we're trying to do, but not too hot. You don't want it going crazy, but we are trying to get a nice, slow fry on it. As I mentioned, we're trying to get the oil to go at least halfway up the eggplant, but anything more than that is can be good and helpful. So we're going to give them a few minutes and then we'll lift them up and see how they're coloring. It's been about 3 minutes now, and what I'm looking at is the coloring starting to form along the far outsides. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead Just kind of gently turn these over, and if you see there, we've got that nice light brown golden color. And whenever you do this, make sure you flip these away from you in case it splashes. Much rather have it splash on the stovetop than on you. Let's give it a few minutes and take another look. It's been about 3 more minutes. What we're going to do here is we're just going to pick up the eggplant. We're going to shake some of the excess grease off of it and just place it into a pan that we have on the side here. As we talked about the tomato sauce earlier, it's been cooking for quite a while now, about an hour, a little over an hour. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take the eggplant, we're going to cover it in the tomato sauce. Now that we've got them nice and covered in tomato sauce, we're going to go back to the mentioned cheese blend that we talked about earlier. Mozzarella provolone is my favorite. I'm going to be generous with the cheese because we all know that cheesy goodness is a great option. And we have the oven preheated to 400 degrees, so we're just going to go right into the oven and get the cheese melted. Alright guys, well that wraps us up for the day. Let me know how yours turns out whenever you make it at home.